Football is a violent sport, which is what makes evaluating players still in high school so difficult. With how prevalent injuries are at all levels, it's tough to predict who will actually make it to the NFL. That's what makes things like the USA Today All-USA High School Football Team so intriguing. These young men were among the best of the best, but many never found NFL greatness. Today, we're taking a look back at the 1993 USA Today All-USA team and seeing what happened to all 25 players, starting with the offense. Josh Booty, quarterback. Booty's father was also a star high school player at Woodlawn High in Shreveport, Louisiana. He played college ball at Mississippi State, where the younger Booty was born. The family moved to Shreveport when Josh was in the second grade, and he started Evangelical Christian, where his dad was the athletic director. During his high school career, Booty threw for 11,700 yards and 126 touchdowns to win the USA Today Offensive Player of the Year award. Notably, Booty beat out Peyton Manning for that distinction, who was starring for Isidore Newman in New Orleans that season. Booty was also an all-state shortstop, batting over 400 with 25 stolen bases and 12 home runs. Booty was recruited by nearly every major program in the country, but decided to play pro baseball, signing with the Marlins for a then-record $1.6 million signing bonus. The fifth pick in the '94 MLB draft spent 5 seasons with the Marlins, winning minor league defensive player of the year in '97 while playing for the Portland Sea Dogs. He did spend some time in the majors, batting .269 with 7 hits and 4 RBIs for his career. In '99, he decided to leave baseball and play college football, signing with LSU. As a heavy quotation marks freshman, Booty beat out Craig Nall and Rohan Davey for the starting job. He threw for 1,800 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 19 interceptions. The team went 3-8, costing coach Jerry DiNardo his job. The Tigers brought in Nick Saban, and Booty began the season as a starter. LSU went 2-2 before Booty picked up a rib injury, but retook his job after Davey struggled against Florida a few weeks later. Under his leadership, the Tigers went 6-3, with Booty throwing for 2,121 yards and 17 touchdowns to 15 interceptions. Unfortunately, he struggled in the bowl game, and Saban replaced him with Davey, who led LSU to 25 straight points to come back and beat Georgia Tech. Booty entered the 2001 draft, where he was selected in the 6th round by the Seahawks. He spent a few years as a backup, but never saw game action. Booty's younger brother Abram also played football, spending time at LSU and Valdosta State as a wide receiver. His other brother John David played college ball at USC before spending some time in the NFL with the Vikings, Titans, and Texans. His nephew General, Abram's son, played college ball at Oklahoma before transferring to Louisiana Monroe, where he spent the 2024 season. Josh's son, Parker Fulgham, is a wide receiver who joined Clemson as a preferred walk-on for the 2024 season. His other son, Peyton, is playing baseball at the JUCO level in 2024. As for what Josh has been up to, he's an entrepreneur who also does quite a bit of work in broadcasting. George Lombard, running back. I promise we'll get to some guys who played college football soon, but Lombard never played it down past his star high school career. He was committed to Georgia to play football, but then the Braves picked him in the second round of the '95 MLB draft. He agreed to the $425,000 contract and never looked back. While never a star baseball player, he carved out a respectable MLB career, playing parts of 3 seasons in Atlanta before spending 1 year each with the Tigers, Rays, and Nats. He batted .220 over his career with 8 homers, 21 RBIs, and 23 stolen bases. Shortly after wrapping up his playing career, he got into coaching with the Boston Red Sox organization. By 2016, the Dodgers hired him to be their first base coach. He helped the team to 3 World Series appearances, winning 1 title in 2020. Later that year, he was named the bench coach for the Detroit Tigers, where he's still working as of 2024. His son George Jr. was selected by the Yankees in the first round of the 2023 draft. As of 2024, he's playing A-plus ball for the team, where he is becoming well known for his defensive ability. His younger son Jacob is in the 2026 class and is ranked as the second best prospect by perfect game. Fred Beasley, running back. Beasley didn't just star on the gridiron, he was also a 3-time state champ in the decathlon. Bees signed to play with Auburn for college ball and spent most of his first 2 seasons playing fullback alongside Stephen Davis. The 246-pound bruiser averaged about 5 yards a carry during those 2 years and proved to be a threat through the air. In 96 and 97, he split time with Rusty Williams. During the 97 season, Beasley had a notable moment against Georgia where he trucked future Bulldogs coach Kirby Smart. In total, Beasley ran for 1,241 yards, adding 567 yards receiving and 21 total touchdowns. The 49ers picked him up in the 6th round of the 98 draft. He spent 8 years with the team, establishing himself as one of the best blocking fullbacks in the league. Bees made the All-Pro second team in 2002 and followed that up in 2003 with an All-Pro repeat and his only Pro Bowl nod. In 2005, the Niners released him, and Beasley spent time during the next 2 years on Miami and Washington's practice squads. As of 2014, he was back in Alabama coaching high school football. Delon Washington, running back. After starring at Campbell in Dallas, Washington joined the USC Trojans. As a freshman, he was buried on the depth chart, but impressed in limited touches, averaging 8 yards a carry with 1 touchdown. In 95, he became the team's leading back, running for 1,058 yards and 5 TDs. During the next season, Washington missed 3 games due to a suspension for, quote, ethical violations that were never fully explained by the school. In 97, he led the team in rushing once again with 444 yards, bringing his 4-year total to 2,025 yards and 11 touchdowns. He never played pro football and seems to be spending his days taking care of his kids. His son plays high-level baseball, though he's in the 2028 class, so it's impossible to say how he'll turn out. Jarvis Reado, offensive line. Reado signed to play at Tennessee where he blocked for Peyton Manning. The big guy helped the Vols win a title in 98 as the starting right tackle. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he played much pro ball. Instead, he's been working with youth as a coach and camp instructor back in Nashville. Reado is also working as a property assessor in the area as of 2024. Bo Barzilauskas, offensive line. Barzo's dad Carl played college football with the Indiana Hoosiers. The big defensive tackle was selected with the 6th pick in the 1974 draft and spent several years in the NFL with the Jets and Packers. Unfortunately, several injuries would end his career early in 1979. His son Bo also signed with the Hoosiers, but quit after 2 years for personal reasons. He spent 4 years out of the sport before signing back up with Valdosta State, where he spent time on both sides of the line. He played in the Arena League in 2001 and soon got into marketing back in Indiana. He continues to work in that field as of 2024. Eric Gohlstin, offensive line. Gohlstin played his college ball at Ohio State. In 95, he took over at right tackle when previous All-USA player Corey Stringer left for the NFL. He started at the position for most of the next 2 years, but dealt with a few injuries. In 97, he switched to center and made the All-Big Ten team. The big guy didn't make the NFL, but did play in the Arena League from 1998 to 2006. Per his LinkedIn page, he was working as a store manager at the Home Depot in 2018, but he hasn't updated his job history since then. Floyd Wedderburn, offensive line. The 6'7" guard was born in Jamaica, but played his high school ball at Upper Darby in Pennsylvania. The big man kept it local and played at Penn State. He missed his first season as a Prop 48 player, but joined the team in 95. He was set to play defensive line that season before tearing his ACL during training camp. When he was back on the field, he lost some of his athleticism and converted to the offensive line. That move definitely worked out in the end, as Wedderburn made first team All-Big Ten in 98. In 99, the Seahawks picked him in the 5th round of the draft. Over his 3-year career, the big guy played in 46 games, starting 26. As of 2023, Wedderburn was working in the cigar business. Tony Coates, offensive line. Coates kept it local and played his college ball with the Washington Huskies. After his redshirt season, he was an instant contributor on the offensive line, playing in every game. Coates started 9 of 11 games at guard in 96, and all 11 games in 97 and 98. Coates was an all Pac-10 selection before the Bengals selected him in the 7th round of the 99 draft. He was on the practice squad for a few seasons, and then went back to school to earn his chiropractor degree. As of 2024, he's running a private practice and doing some high school coaching in Oregon. Marcus Nash. Nash was born in Tulsa, but played his high school ball in Edmond, Oklahoma. The 6'3" wideout decided to leave the state and join Reado at Tennessee. Things started slowly with the Vols, but Nash established himself as a leading receiver by 95, catching 43 balls for 512 yards and 4 touchdowns. Nash took things up a notch in 96, but it was the 97 season where he broke out as Peyton Manning's favorite target, catching 76 balls for 1,170 yards and 13 TDs. He was named first team All-SEC, and the Broncos selected him with the 30th pick in the 98 draft. As a rookie, he played in 8 games, catching 4 passes for 76 yards. While he didn't play much, Nash did win a Super Bowl that season. In 99, he was traded to the Dolphins, but was waived soon after. Later that year, Nash signed with the Ravens. He appeared in 1 game, recording no stats. However, Baltimore won a title in 2000, giving him 2 Super Bowl rings. By 2003, Nash was playing in the Arena Football League. While he didn't have much success in the NFL, he dominated at times in the AFL, winning the league's Offensive Player of the Year award in 2004 after catching a ridiculous 154 balls for 1,771 yards and 46 touchdowns. Nash continued to play AFL ball through 2008 when he unfortunately suffered a neck injury that ended his career. In the years since, Nash has become a strength and conditioning coach. Ahndre Patterson, wide receiver. Patterson played high school ball at Carter, joining the long list of players who starred for the Dallas High School. He was originally set to attend Tennessee to play college ball, but the top tight end in the country switched his commitment to Alcorn State. At the time, and even still today, it was a huge coup for assistant coach Alonzo Stevens. Patterson played pretty well during his time there, winning Newcomer of the Year and making first team All-SWAC in 95. The next season, he was playing at Texas Tech. However, looking through the Red Raiders official records, it doesn't look like he recorded any significant stats, though he may have been used as a blocker. Either way, he's not on the roster for 97 and has all but disappeared from the public eye in the years since. Greg Williams, athlete. Williams left Illinois to attend the University of North Carolina. He started his career as a receiver, but was mostly used as a return man during his first 2 seasons. The 5'11 speedster switched to the defensive side of the ball in 96 and grew into a relatively stout safety by his senior season, recording 83 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 8 passes defended. Williams then spent some time with the Bears and Giants in training camp before playing a few seasons in the XFL and AFL. By 2003, he was also starting up his coaching career. 3 years later, he was a defensive backs coach and recruiting coordinator at Arkansas Tech. He did a season with Pitt as a graduate assistant and secondary coach before joining the Chargers as an assistant linebackers coach. Williams has kept coaching in the NFL over the last decade plus and is working as the inside linebackers coach of the Rams as of 2024. Wade Richey, kicker. Richey took his talents to LSU. The kicker played sparingly in 94 and 95, mostly handling kickoff duties as the Tigers already had Andre LaFleur. In 96, he started kicking much more, making nearly 98% of his extra point attempts. However, he struggled with field goals, only making 5 of his 10 attempts. 97 was more of the same, hitting all but 1 of his extra points, but missing 7 of his 10 field goals. After being a highly coveted kicker in high school, Richey went undrafted in 98. However, he quickly signed up with the Seahawks and impressed in training camp. In fact, he was so good in the preseason that the 49ers picked him up from the waivers and made him their starter. Richey kicked for the Niners for 3 seasons, hitting 96% of his extra points and 75% of his field goals with a long of 52. He also continued to be reliable with his kickoffs. Of course, those numbers look a lot better because Richey hit 91% of his field goals in 99. His other 2 seasons were typical Wade Richey inconsistency. He also notably missed time with a very bizarre injury in 98 after hurting himself stepping out of a hot tub on Thanksgiving. Richey joined the Chargers in 2001 and continued to kick at a decent rate, though his field goals made percentage dropped to 65%. In 2002, San Diego had Steve Christie handle field goals, and Richey went back to being a kickoff specialist. He'd serve in that role with the Ravens in 2003 and 2004 before leaving the NFL. That said, it's worth noting that he did make 1 big field goal with Baltimore, nailing a 56-yarder in 2003 against the Browns. After retiring, Richey moved back to Louisiana and has been working in construction and sales over the last few decades. And now for the defense. Lamont Green, linebacker. Green was named the USA Today Defensive Player of the Year while starring at Miami's Southridge. However, he decided to join Florida State for college ball. After a redshirt season, Green mostly appeared on special teams for the Noles in '95, recording 28 tackles. He saw much more action the next season, adding 6 tackles for loss and 3 sacks to his 44 total tackles. For the next 2 years, Green was a starter and one of the team's leading tacklers. He was a team captain and an All-ACC player for the Noles in '99. Still, some pundits thought he'd underperformed given the standout talent he displayed in high school. He went undrafted in '99 and signed with the Falcons. He appeared in 1 game and was on the Panthers reserve list in 2000. Green also spent some time in NFL Europe that season with the Berlin Thunder. Reportedly, Scottish Claymore's lineman Jason Gamble placed a bounty on the linebacker after a particularly hard tackle on receiver Aaron Stecker. He was out of football after the season and went back to school to finish his degree. Green earned his bachelor's in criminology and criminal justice from FSU in 2002 and his master's in education from Nova Southeastern in 2007. Since then, he spent time working as a coach and in administration at the high school level. His son Lamont Jr. signed to play with FSU as an edge rusher in 2024. His daughter is also a collegiate athlete, running track at Middle Tennessee State. Deshaan Simmons, defensive line. Simmons joined Georgia Tech for college ball. The D lineman was a rotation player from '95 to '97, racking up 3.5 sacks. He was never listed as a starter, but played in at least 31 career games before graduating. He then spent the next few decades working in sales, most notably working with ADP for 19 years. Simmons has also been working as a DJ since 2004. Darrell Russell, defensive line. Russell's story is an unfortunate one. The 6'5" high school star signed with USC for college ball. There, he quickly grew into a 2-time All-Pac-10 player in '95 and '96, and made the 3rd-team All-American roster during the latter season. That year, he racked up 19 tackles for loss, and Al Davis's Oakland Raiders made him the 2nd pick in the '97 draft. The 320-pound lineman ran a 4.8 in the 40 at that year's combine, while pumping out 25 reps in the bench press and showing off a 31.5-inch vertical. A typical workout warrior that Davis always loved. He signed a then rookie record 7-year, $22 million contract. Russell made the all-rookie team in '97 before exploding in '98. That season, he had 10 sacks and 3 forced fumbles to make the Pro Bowl and first-team All-Pro rosters. In '99, he again made the Pro Bowl team and was named second-team All-Pro behind 9.5 sacks. However, things took a turn the next season when Russell failed a drug test. He failed another test in 2001, resulting in a 4-game ban. Russell failed a 3rd test in 2002 and was suspended for the entire season. A few notable things happened during that year. On the positive side, he appeared in an episode of The Jersey on the Disney Channel. However, on the incredibly negative side, Russell was accused of videotaping a rape committed by 2 friends. Eventually, those charges were dropped, but Russell's dark cloud didn't end there. The Raiders waived him soon after. He signed with Washington in 2003, but continued to test positive for illegal substances and was suspended indefinitely. In total, Russell failed 7 drug tests before he was out of football. In 2005, Russell was riding with a former UFC teammate when the car went out of control and hit a curb, a tree, a newsstand, a fire hydrant, a light pole, a second tree, and an unoccupied bus. Both men were found unconscious, and sadly, the 2 29-year-olds died in the hospital. Orlando Pace, defensive line. While Pace made the team on defense, he played offensive line during his time at Ohio State. Pace became the 2nd ever true freshman to start for the Buckeyes on opening day. He won Big Ten Freshman of the Year in '94. Pace's next 2 years were just as good. In '95 and '96, he made the first-team All-Big Ten and first-team All-American rosters. He was a 2-time Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year and Lombardi Award winner. In '96, he was named the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year, Big Ten MVP, and won the Outland Trophy, UPI Lineman of the Year, and Jim Parker Trophy. The Pancake Man finished 4th in Heisman voting in '96, the highest a lineman had finished since Buckeyes great John Hicks finished 2nd in 1973. The Rams made Pace the first overall pick in the '97 draft, the first time that a lineman went first overall since Ron Gary in 1968. It was a great choice by the Rams, as Pace played in St. Louis for 12 seasons, making 7 Pro Bowls and 3 All-Pro teams. Pace helped clear the way for the Rams during their Super Bowl win over the Titans in 2000. Unfortunately, in 2006, Pace started to deal with several injuries. He only played in 1 game in 2007, but was still solid in 2008. Still, the Rams decided to release him in 2009 to save cap space. The aging veteran then signed a 3-year deal with the Bears, starting 11 games in 2009 before retiring. Pace was the owner of a sports bar in his hometown, but it closed in 2022. Outside of that, it looks like Pace has been enjoying retirement, as his Instagram is filled with golf and family photos. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2016. His son Jalen Pace is a linebacker with Ohio State as of 2024, though it doesn't seem like he's seen much game action as an invited walk-on. Grant Wistrom, defensive line. Wistrom joined the Nebraska Cornhuskers for college ball. He was a key cog on the defensive line all 4 years, helping the team to a 49-2 record and 3 national titles. Wistrom won back-to-back Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year awards in '96 and '97, and won the Lombardi Award the latter season. He was also a 3-time All-American across his career. His 58.5 career tackles for a loss are a school record, and his 26.5 sacks are second in Huskers history. He was also a great student, making academic All-American in '96 and '97. The Rams selected him with the 6th pick in the '98 draft. Like Pace, he was a key contributor when St. Louis won a title, racking up 6.5 sacks and 10 tackles for loss, while taking both of his picks back to the house. Wistrom continued to play for the team through the 2003 season, totaling 41.5 sacks during his 6 years in St. Louis. In 2004, he joined the Seahawks on a 6-year deal. He started every game he was healthy for, but was asked to restructure his deal in 2006 and decided to retire at 30 years old. Since then, Wistrom has worked in marketing and real estate. He also owns a CrossFit gym, and his wife Melissa competed at the CrossFit Games as a Masters athlete in 2018 and 19, finishing 7th both years. Their daughter signed with Nebraska to play college soccer in 2025. Travis Stroud, defensive line. Stroud played his college football at Georgia. He's listed as a starter in '94, however, an injury in '95 made him a rotation player for that season and the next. In '97, he was back on the starting lineup to wrap up his college career. Stroud went undrafted and spent some time in various training camps and on arena football teams. By 2004, he was out of football and working as a technical lead for a company working with the Atlanta public school system. In 2008, he started working in Hollywood as a football action coordinator on the CW show The Game. He co-founded a business called Game Breaker that helped cast and choreograph sports scenes in film and television. As of 2024, Stroud was working as a recruiter in IT and marketing. His son, Travis Stroud II, played for the Atlanta Blues in the Sun Belt Baseball League during the summer of 2024 and will seemingly continue his pro baseball career in 2025. Rasheed Simmons, linebacker. The 6'5" Simmons started his college career at Michigan. After a redshirt season, Simmons mostly sat on the sidelines. Reports differ about what happened. His former teammate Amani Toomer said the coaches tried to keep him at linebacker when he was better suited at defensive end. For his part, Simmons said it was family issues. Either way, he transferred to Maryland in '96. He played decently, but never had the eye-popping stats many had expected. However, Simmons was able to join the New York Giants for the 1999 preseason. He also did a stint in NFL Europe in 2000. Then, Simmons spent some time with the Panthers before playing the 2003 season in the Arena League and retiring. The big guy got into the restaurant business, opening an eatery with his mother for 11 years. After that, the mother-son duo opened up a restaurant called Simply Southern near the Jersey Shore. Unfortunately, the restaurant closed that location in 2023. At the time, Simmons was looking to find a new location, but it looks like he's opened up a motorcycle shop as of early 2024. Vernon Rollins, linebacker. Rollins played his college ball at Iowa. As a sophomore, the 6'2 linebacker recorded 126 tackles to make the 96 All-Big Ten honorable mention roster. Unfortunately, his junior year ended with a gnarly knee injury that also ruled him out of the entire 98 season. As a redshirt senior, he never really got it going again and became a graduate assistant coach. Since leaving the game behind, Rollins has been living a normal life in Iowa with his wife and 3 kids. Amp Campbell, defensive back. Campbell left Florida to attend Michigan State. In '96, he became a starter for the Spartans and held that role until a nasty spinal injury took him out 2 games into the '98 season. Campbell actually worked his way back from the injury and made the 3rd-team All-American roster in '99. For his career, Amp had 104 tackles, 5 picks, 3 sacks, and 15 tackles for loss. Instead of trying to continue playing, Campbell quickly got into coaching. He's been working all over the map in the year since, including stops at Western Michigan, Kent State, and Alabama State. In 2024, he moved back to Florida and became the head coach at a high school. Robert Hammond, defensive back. Hammond played his college ball at Florida State. With the Noles, Hammond saw some game time in '94 before starting 12 games in '95. He was limited to just 5 games in '96 and was kicked off the team before the '97 season after violating team rules. He was expected to compete with Dexter Jackson for a starting role, but was instead arrested on drug charges. Since then, he's fallen out of the public eye. Eric Thigpen, defensive back. Thigpen joined Rollins at Iowa and saw limited action in '95 and '96 before starting every game for the Hawkeyes in '97. In '98, ET continued to play well, earning 2nd team All-Big Ten. The Falcons drafted him in the 6th round of the '99 draft, but he never recorded game time in the NFL. He spent some time playing in NFL Europe and other minor leagues before leaving the game behind in 2002. He moved into medical sales that year and has been working in the field for the last few decades. Bret Hopkins, punter. Hopkins kept it local and attended Oregon State. That said, he was much more of a student than an athlete, as the punter only had 3 collegiate punts. As of 2024, he was coaching baseball and football at the high school level in Washington State. And that wraps up the '93 All-USA USA team. I'll be back with the '94 squad in a couple of weeks, but in the meantime, if you have ideas for future college or professional football videos, please share them below in the comments.